EA.
It is time for our final set of games here for the ESL Pro League for Season 4. And I mean, there's so much on the line, $750,000 is a big chunk of change. And now we have G2 and FaZe doing battle in a best of 2. Now, G2 actually got off to a pretty sterling start. We got to see them perform relatively well. I mean, the main question coming into the last performance from G2 was just a question of, okay, who is going to step up? Was it going to be the shock show? That was the question that Yanko asked, and we did get to see. It was actually more of a team effort, and now they go up against FaZe, currently top of the table in the Pro League. Of course, it helps when you play more games than everyone else. So
Definitely helps.
Certainly does help. So
and if you win them as well, Alex,
yeah,
you're probably going to be at the top of the table.
God, you are. I knew we had you on the desk for the reason. Either way, we have AZ, Alu, JChem, Keo, and Rain going up against Body, RPK, Scream, Shocks, and Smiths. Now, Yanko, this discussion features one man on G2 in particular. It's going to be Scream I'd like to talk about here. And it's because, of course, of this recent change with the tapping. They actually, it was a recent update from Valve, I'm sure you guys are aware if you've been playing the game, which actually increased the tapping accuracy, or in fact, the speed at which the accuracy resets, which means you can tap quicker. Is this something, do you think, that's going to influence Scream? You know, is he going to become even more of an all-star? Hard to speak, it really is.
I don't think it's going to be a major change, right? Probably will help him a bit because of his play style, because he prefers tapping over spraying and bursting. But this also buffed bursting, right? Firing 2 or 3 quick bullets, and then the accuracy, as you mentioned, resets faster. So basically makes spraying less efficient in comparison to tapping and bursting.
So, I mean, I don't feel like we've seen an increase in tapping. Have you been observing? Have you seen just since the patch has been played?
I think it's pretty much business as usual.
Yeah. Do you think there is more to be exploited with this patch? I mean, I saw videos on Reddit and various other sources just showing just how quickly, like, you can tap. Almost, it sounds like spraying almost at that speed with accurate one tap.
I don't think that players will, you know, revolutionize their play styles because of this change. It's only, you know, for players who prefer tapping anyway, it's going to maybe make them a bit more powerful, but, you know, players who tend to spray a lot, Get Right, Kirby, I don't think they're going to now, you know, suddenly start tapping only because of this change.
Because wasn't there for a while a lot of criticism aimed at Scream, quite a while ago actually, about him going for one taps too often, like, you know, in his Epsilon days, and was like, oh, but because of he goes for that too often, he tries to make the snazzy plays for the frag movies. And he changed his game style almost a little bit, didn't he, away from that? I
feel that, you know, now he has a good balance with it. When it's long range, he obviously prefers tapping, but if it's a close range battle, he will not try to just tapping at a headshot. He will try to spray the opponent down.
Yeah, and I mean, alongside that, just while we're talking about criticism, I feel like these are always interesting discussions to have. You know who I'm going to talk about. In fact, if I'm talking about criticism, I'm talking about G2. Who do you think I'm going to bring up?
Well, either Smiths or Body, I assume.
Well, he's not wrong. First time is a charm. Smiths. Why on earth has he got such a bad rep? He's been in these top teams for as long as I can remember. Why has he got such a bad rap?
A really good point there, Alex. A really good talking point, because that only proves that there's much more that goes into a player and a good teammate than simply raw skill, right?
Yes.
Smiths, obviously there are players who are more skilled than him in other top teams, operators who are more proficient than him, but simply he does, as far as I've heard, he does a lot of work for the team that you can't really measure so easily, right? But especially us at the analyst desk, I heard that he helps a lot with calling. He's, you know, a really good teammate, you know, a player who raises the atmosphere in the team, motivates everyone else, who does the dirty work for the team, helps with the preparation as well. And that's the reason why he persisted, even though sometimes his individual performances have been underwhelming, but still he has maps and positions where he's really proficient, like Dust 2 is a good example, Train as well. Those are some of his best maps, and he has been, you know, pulling G2 out of tough places with his performance at times.
So, I mean, that's actually very interesting, because it does happen an awful lot across the CS as a whole. There's always that 1 or 2 players that whenever you see criticism hailed at them, their teammates are the first people to step in and just say, shut up, just shut up. I mean, I remember Fallen getting so angry that people were criticizing Taco because they had no idea just how much he was providing to the SK roster. Now, I mean, perhaps a similar story there for Smith. We'll see how he performs as they do go up against FaZe. Now, the maps, I had it up on my screen. Okay, so we do start on Cash. Now, wasn't this G2's playground for an awfully long time?
I mean, it is one of their better maps,
Yeah.
probably with Dust 2 and Train, one of their most played maps, so to speak. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, because yesterday we saw FaZe on it as well, having a tough game against Envious. So you would think with that in mind that G2 will be the favorite here.
I mean, you would expect so, especially considering the hot and cold story with FaZe. Like, I still can't comprehend it. I know I brought it up before. In fact, I shouldn't really raise the point again. But FaZe going from so well in the Pro League to very poor in other online games they played in the same day versus the same team on the same map. Like, it just doesn't correlate in my mind. I just can't quite understand
Probably
that.
the definition of inconsistency.
Yes, absolutely it is. And you know what? Inconsistency could probably be applied to a lot of the individuals on FaZe, can't it? Like, I mean, AZ is a bit of is it a sad story to tell, the fact that he is and was such a exciting premise, and yet we haven't seen that kind of, I mean, maybe him and Kierby, there's a lot of similarities.
I mean, he was one of the hottest players at the time he moved from Dignitas to FaZe, and we saw glimpses of that play here and there from AZ, but it hasn't been consistent. You also have to, have in mind the fact that FaZe has been struggling for a long time as a team. In that sense, when you can't really find your groove, and when you're not really functioning as a team, in a sense, you don't have a good foundation, you don't have a good game plan. They didn't have an in-game leader for a very long time. That's why they brought Robban in. When there's a lot of chaos in the team, you can't really expect much from individuals themselves, right? That they're all failing. It's not someone in particular dragging the team down.
And that's where we're going to have to take this then. Coaches, Robban, the 4 30-second timeout change. I mean, are FaZe likely one of the teams that have been hit the hardest here? I know that a lot of teams have, but I mean, we know that they were a little chaotic without that leadership presence.
Yeah, there are a lot of teams that are going to be affected.
Let's build a
by
list.
it.
Okay, let's think about this. Who relies on the coach? Na'Vi, NIP.
Na'Vi, NIP, Mouse Sports to an extent.
Yeah, sure.
Dignitas also, I mean, have a coach, Astralis, even though Kerrigan is mostly Dignitas.
No
the teams that are not affected by it are, I mean...
It's better to list them, probably.
Yes, SK, Godsend, Fnatic is also going to be probably in trouble because of the coaching change. So there are a lot of teams that are affected by it. The thing is, when you look at the timeout change as well, you have 4 30-second timeouts. For me, that kind of reminds me of basketball to an extent, where coaches use timeouts more so to stop the momentum of the opposing team, right? If your opponents get a couple of rounds in a row, you maybe want to just calm things down, calm your players, because for 30 seconds, you can't really explain, you can't really form a long and a lengthy game plan for your team. If you can only maybe tell them to pay a bit more attention to what your opponents are doing, in particular if it's something specific, or tell them, I want you to do this strat, right? But it goes both ways, as it always does. If you call a timeout after 5 rounds, I mean, that you lost in a row, well, your opponent obviously is going to expect you to switch things up. So then it comes to the mind games. But do you prepare for that? Do you just... I really think that the timeout change is going to be a really big change as well.
It's gonna hit a lot of teams very, very hard. I mean, I saw an interesting suggestion. I think it was Adrian who tweeted it out, saying that the coaches, that he understands they don't want coach in-game leading, mid-round, but the idea of in the 15-second warm-up phase, the coach could talk.
I mean, freeze time.
Freeze time, exactly.
I mean, it would be a step forward for coaches. Certainly would be more helpful than without it. But I still think that these teams, like Na'Vi, teams who are really dependent on their coaches, it's not just about, listen, it would be really easy if you could just, at the beginning of the round in freeze time, the in-game leader calls a strat, and voila, that wins you the round. There are only a few set strats that you call at the beginning of the round because you're expecting your opponents to have a certain setup, and then you call something specific to counter that. Most of the time you call a default, or some sort of a default, and then after your teammates give you map information, after you try and figure out your opponent's setup, then mid-round calls are the ones that are most important. If you don't have your coach for that, and to help you with communication, right, to maybe if he sees something or hears something, he can give more input, or he can make the call himself. I think that's going to be a really, really big problem for teams.
Yeah, and it will be. It's going to be a real test to see where that leadership comes from for FaZe when they don't have Robban being able to make those calls for them. I know Kia was actually talking about it. Maybe he'll be taking the helm there. Be intriguing to see him try something new. We know he's a capable player. I'm sure he's got the brain for it, so we'll be seeing how he does perform as we do prepare for Cash. So it is going to be G2 and FaZe clashing on Cash. We saw how the Frenchman did thrive for Envy. Let's see if Keo can do one better than his former teammates. We're going to jumping into the game almost right now. I think we've got a couple of seconds. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I think the casters are ready this time. And we are going to go ahead and head over to a casting pair to guide you through the action in our final set of games.
Matt, we've got cast. Matt, you're back. Come on.
I wasn't ready, Alex.
It's all fine. We're back.
We're really bad at selling jokes these days.
That was a reach. that was Matt's idea.
That was not my idea. That was Pansy's idea.
Yeah, true.
Always pick on the person who's not here to defend themselves.
Did you miss me?
Absolutely not.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah,
it's going to be G2 versus FaZe, Matt. G2 in a pretty horrible form recently. In terms of online results, it's just been a string of losses. And FaZe seem to be on the ascendant a little bit more.
Yeah, the weird thing is with G2 that they're kind of struggling right now because at the end of the last Pro League, obviously they went 5-map series in the finals at London against SK, then Luminosity, but SK, and that was when everyone thought they were on the rise. I think the major was a tough blow on them. That was when they kind of hit that form, and the curse continued. They couldn't get through. They were in the group of death, let's be fair. And since then, we haven't really seen much. To be fair, I haven't seen a lot of Counter-Strike in general, but haven't seen much from them. We're going to have to see it now on Cash late. Oh, hang on. I did what you almost did that one time.
Oh, are you going to start casting the wall?
Well, it just switched in, and usually we've got this down to like a well-oiled machine, and it's just, I was like, why is there an AK? Why is there an AK? All right, teams are to blame. Keo is the problem.
Well, you're the solution.
Well, I don't know if you want me to be the solution to problems.
Well, it's going to be Cash, Matt. How do we think this one's going to go down? FaZe versus G2. We do know FaZe can play this map. They look pretty solid on it, but do you think they have what it takes to take down the well-oiled machine, as you said, from G2?
No, that was supposed to be ESL production.
Oh, right, yeah,
G2.
Of course. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think, you know what, I think they do right now. I don't want to call them onliners by any sense of imagination, but they kind of have this little honeymoon period going on. I think they're really building on this momentum. They're all hyped. You can tell that they're pretty pumped about their start, and we know that in the Pro League, every game counts to make the LAN. And Alu coming in, I'm a bit surprised to say it. Yes, I thought he would bring consistency, but he's brought a little bit of a flair that they didn't have, and that's not normally something Alu himself is known for.
Well, this is the thing. I said if you give him the role he wants to do and the stuff he's like more than happy to, he wants to go hunting for those frags. He has got the potential to do it. I think Fox was lacking that. This is like a nice string to their bow now. Having an aggressive AWP can come and actually do things he wants to do. I feel there's a looser team in that sense. I feel like it's a good addition. I'm not sure how consistent it's going to be with this kind of formation. We've always known these guys have struggled with the in-game leader capacity, and with this recent update as well with the coaching things from Valve. How does that sit with Robin? We don't really know his exact role. Maybe it's a topic we need to explore on a certain show, Matt. Maybe we could visit FaZe and have a look.
Someday we'll have a podcast. Oh wait, we do now.
We do. It's coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to run it a day early this week because actual Counter-Strike takes over the day on Tuesday.
Yep. So look out for that. We'll announce it properly. But we'll wait for this game to go live.
Social media manager's been slacking lately.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get him.
It's a she.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a she.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. It's my dog.
Ah, that makes sense. Well, then, it's going to be the game starting momentarily. It will be G2.
Glad this time I told in my ear so I didn't go crazy again. Like, yeah.
Matthew, G2 are starting on the CT side. FaZe on the terrorist. The pistol has begun. I will dissect this by for you and we'll work out what's going to be coming in. We saw FaZe play this map the other day, and they did actually go for a simple execution towards the A side. It was one smoke towards Highway, and it came out towards Squeaky Door as well.
To be fair, when is there ever a series that we don't see FaZe play this map?
True, they do like it. And this is the original. I guess they're not really the same any sort of lineup. This is where Penguin started originally when they brought in these kind of guys, and then it went to the 16-0 versus VP. That's where it all began on Cash. You know, that was a DreamHack Valencia. It was my first ever international event. That was a long time ago.
Huh. That was your first international event, wasn't it? For some reason, I always prescribed the Gfinity to be your first one. But
that was not international. I was in London.
Well, okay, you were in London, but it was international teams.
Oh yeah, no, of course. It has been like the first time I got on a plane to cast.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Were you scared of flying the first time? Do you know that there's an odd number? We've got a little bit of time because we're still just seeing in spawn, so I'm kind of just taking advantage of it. Do you know that there's an odd number of people in the scene that actually are scared of flying? We're not scared of flying, but aren't comfortable with it.
Oh, well, I'm not going to ask you to name any names.
I won't know. I don't know if it's because I'm not sure if it's something they're comfortable with being public knowledge. But there are quite a few that fly a lot.
I know a couple of casters, but I guess I don't.
I know a couple of players that are as well.
I can't think of any players. Not off the top of my head, at least.
Yeah. Well, again, for the sake of them, I won't.
Yes.
I won't make that public. But there are. It's interesting.
You do a lot of traveling. Did it get easier for you, or did you never have a problem with it?
I never had a problem. In fact, I smile when it's turbulent.
Yeah, I don't mind the traveling.
It's like for me, it's like an adrenaline thing. It's like being in a race car where it's all
close my eyes and I grab
bumpy.
onto something. But now it's just like, well, the plane's never really crashed because there's a bit of turbulence. That's why I think. Then it calms you down, and you're just like, it happens every flight. It's fine. But we digress. The game is starting, Matt. It's going to be G2 versus FaZe joining us. This is 2 maps coming up. The final game of this evening will be 4 sets of armor for FaZe and Kiyoshima. This will be a bit more tactical. They have got that one smoke I discussed before. This time they have a Molotov. They did not have that when we saw them play the other day. So Kiyoshima will go towards B by himself, and it looks like an A-side attack will be coming in, but it's going to be a little boost towards middle. Someone will get a headshot there. I think it's Scream, and they're actually going to be committing towards middle here. So this could be a little B split coming in. They're going to go for that mid control, which they have obtained as well. Rain will be going in first. He's boosted up, and he's spotting towards connector. They're going to leave the bomb towards spawn for now, so they're not going to be heavily committing. It's kind of fitting the situation out.
Well, USP from Body, who's, as always, the B-sided player. It doesn't matter what map it seems. There's similarities in B-sides. That has to do with map-making design. We won't talk about that. We'll let FMPONE do that sometime, perhaps. RPK going to be watching over with the nade as well on Generator. They've got an early rotation toward this B-site, does G2. And you know what? Not bad. Not a bad call at all. Smoke and the Molotov. Molotov thrown. Okay, now it does come back. I thought it was thrown a little bit far to clear out the bulk of the site, but it forces them out of position, and that's very well done. So perfect use of utility. Cut off tree. That's your first rotation. Cover the vents with the man in, and that Molotov clears out about 60% of the site.
That means rotating CTs as well. They're very limited to having to actually get back onto the site, so RPK is desperately trying to get on, goes under 10 HP. That's actually leading to his demise there, but it's going to be 2 players remaining, Shox and Smiths. And if FaZe can be a little bit over-aggressive in these sort of situations, I think I can remember some horrible moments where they're a little bit ahead of themselves. You can see they're being very disciplined now. No one's facing at all. They're playing for the bomb, and Shox and Smiths can't really get anything out of this. At this point, it looks like they'll just be looking for their $300 per kill. There's one of them. Shox does find the headshot towards Jacob, and looking to get a bit more as well. Very crisp stuff from him, but it feels like the round is a little bit out of their grasp.
Yeah, time was not there, but some stylish shots. And look, on pistol round, get all the kills you can get because you're going to build up a little bit of money from doing so. Carry the cash over to the next round. Then CTs, losing the first one, very likely that they'll buy in some utility and some armor in this particular one. Shock staying alive, he'll carry armor over, so he could easily pick up or justify picking up a nade or 2.
I love Twitch chat. Whenever there's a Molotov and someone's about to die,
1G?
it's just 1G.
1G. That's not really how it works, but 1G.
Yeah,
Poor Summit.
No, nothing to do with
Summit's such a good guy, and this is how he's being remembered forever and ever and ever.
Oh, it just made me laugh.
What about Zeus? He did it once.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, well, that just made me laugh. I just saw on the side, the other monitor.
To be fair, Summit did it. It actually cost them the game.
Yeah, that's yeah, to be fair. But anyway, it's going to be a force buy here from GT. They've got the 5.7s, the head armor, no real grenades here. Smith's obviously the all player. He'll be on the more modest buy, just the USP and a flashbang for him. But FaZe, they've gone in for 3 SMGs here, 2 AKs, more focused on probably just getting into a bomb set together with those UMPs. They have a bit more utility with this buy. Means they can actually smoke off and Molotov some key areas and actually stick together and make it nice and close range. I'd imagine you'd probably want to go towards A site with this kind of buy. You smoke off towards highway, smoke off quad, and then Molotov in, go together with those SMGs and try and lock down any pistols that may be nearby. Jacob, no, trying to work towards squeaky door. Shox is waiting very closely though. Going to be slamming that door in his face as soon as he opens it. Good exchange going here. It's actually Body to take down Kiyoshima. So man advantage, make it 2 now for G2. 5 on 3. And the bomb still hasn't made any real progress here. So FaZe in a lot of trouble as rain drops as well.
Alu trying to get the entrance kills with these AK-47. Unfortunately, he's caught up in that smoke, and Smiths is able to take him down while he's lost. More importantly, AZ walking in, gets caught in the crossfire with Scream and G2. That's very impressive. 5 players staying alive to pull back the round.
Absolutely. That's a big round for GT to pick up. And FaZe, it didn't really seem they had any sort of real approach to that anti-eco round. They just spread out in a default formation. Someone opened the squeaky door by himself, and then his teammate wasn't there to get the refrag either, and G2 capitalize. And it's a bit of a horror show for them in that respect. This will be round number 3 here. The force buy comes in return from FaZe, trying to pay the favor back potentially. It's just Shoxy actually just pushes straight through the mid-smoke here. This is aggressive from him, but Rain does open things up with the headshot towards Body.
Shox shots into Kiyoshima. MP9 reigns supreme, and Jacob, well, he's got Tech 9 waiting to open up that doorway, but that doorway does not need to be open just yet because they can fan back out across the map in a 4 versus 4 and try and find another pick, potentially at middle with Rain on this Deagle. And if he goes now, transition period for Shocks. Okay, just got back inside. It looked like you wanted to try and get towards sandbags late, which would be a bit peculiar. Limit his rotation ability.
Well, GT getting aggressive here now. They're actually going to be pushing and hunting for information towards B storage. And AZ actually headshot Scream there in the exchange. So that's actually pretty nice work from him. RPK looking to get some kills back in return. He does get one, but Rain takes him down. Alu coming from the fence as well. This is a lovely split. We could see FaZe answer back with the force by themselves to actually take the round. It's going to be FaZe. Rain taking the headshot towards Shocks. 3 versus 1 now to Smith with the UMP.
Smiths is going to walk back through with the UMP. No information to gather just yet. No one spotted Jacob in behind the triple. Countdown, I say 12 seconds.
Yeah, well, it was G2 that forced
kill
in the second and win the round, and FaZe do it straight back. It was actually a very nice, well-played attack from them towards the B side.
It's kind of bizarre how common we see that, isn't it?
It's a back-and-forth battle. This might even force GT to do the same thing. The thing is, you don't want them to accumulate the loss bonus, right, and all that sort of thing. So you're just kind of trying to force buy your way into the game any way you can. If you can make it happen, it's a reset for the other team, and then they have to force buy. So it could be interesting to see what GT do. I think they have got enough money to justify getting into this. So it's going to be them with an AWP, in fact, on Smiths. Scream with that M4, and they've got a FAMAS coming in as well. There is a UMP still on RPK. And Shocks as well. It's a limited buy for sure, but it's more than enough to work with. You can see FaZe, they might have been underestimating this buy coming in from G2s. They've actually got a MAC-10, 2 UMPs. They may have misread this, I would say. Need to be very careful, and if Smith can keep quiet with the AWP and not give it away before he makes first contact, that could be the pivotal factor here.
Pivotal indeed. Shocks flashed in toward A main, trying to get some information and an early pick to start off this play, but MAC-10, Kiyoshima, certainly not the problem this time as he gets deep inside of the site and RPK gets found. Scream. Shots back in though. Does pull it back. The tapping definitely favors him, but he runs out of ammunition. I still don't love the A1S. I know it's preference. I'm not saying it's a bad gun by any means, but that situation is always so awkward and unfortunate. Bomb down inside of the site, but they have control of it. They'll be able to grab that again with the addition of the smoke out toward heaven. AZ will just watch the vents to make sure of it. And surely, I would have expected, I'm surprised actually, I would have expected Keo to go for it in that time. Either way, AZ gets back to grab it.
Bomb will be planted here, and he's got Smiths coming in from the vents. He's got the AWP. Someone's going to have to face at this point. There it is. And they don't actually get taken down as quickly, but the Molotov thrown onto the site. It's going to be the pincer coming in from upper now.
That's Smith's actually misreading that. They do work this out. Shocks does a very good job, but the Molotov he threw, he expected it to push it toward generator, and the player was already showing inside of the site. So he was anticipating to push him and catch him on when he fell down from the other entrance at checker, and he went the other way. So he actually could have hit the shot if he didn't move.
Well then, 2-2. And G2 finally gets another round on the board here. It's going to be FaZe coming back in, though, with the AKs and AWPs themselves. The money's starting to stabilize for both teams. It's been a back and forth affair so far, for sure. And we've got an AWP on Alu, and AZ will just be left with the Tech 9 there, but it all comes down to the danger man Alu. They seem to be performing a lot better when he does have that AWP. He's great at getting these opening picks. Like you see him boosted right now. Normally they'd put down a smoke in towards that steps area, towards the A story. It means you can actually deny that Molotov being possible. That's normally for the faster strat, so that's fine. He can wait for a few seconds before he can get boosted up, and he will be greeted by Scream at the top here. Nails the shot, blind as he went down. Scream was in the open. So now the 5-on-4 comes in, body waiting in the vents, trying to get some sort of response there.
Alu with AWP, top of the boost, and no one to be found in that mid position just yet. So a passive mid hold to gain from G2, having lost a member early. They want to stack sites with as many members, as many bodies as they can. They only have one body though, Henry.
It's true. They only got one to work with, but he's doing a pretty good job. 5-on-4 still in favor of FaZe. No real ground gained after getting that first pick so far. They are setting up themselves for something towards A, potentially. You see Jake can go towards the end of Squeaky Door, and Smith, he was trying to hunt for some information and actually blind himself at the main entrance. Jake takes him down, 5-on-3. Still don't need to really commit at this stage. Just see what the reaction is. You can see Rain holding towards middle. He's going to be greeted by body there as he pushes in, but the A attack does finally happen, and Shocks is waiting for him.
Oh, lovely stuff from Shocks. 3 goes down as AZ's found as well. Bomb dropped. He'll fall to Alu in the end, but can Alu really pull this back? Bomb just on the edge of the red container. He'll grab that, missing the op shot though. I can understand it. He didn't expect to get the information with that early peak, so try and catch him off in that situation, but no bomb plant as a result. And G2 will take the lead 3-2 again this time.
What a big performance that was from Shox. After FaZe got the initial 2 frags, it looked like they had everything working in their favor. They go on the A side, running in one by one. Shox is mowing them down with that AK-47. Alu was left in a 2-on-1 situation, which was definitely winnable. He saw he had an open CT towards our highway area and just couldn't land a shot. It's something we come to expect of him. It's rare for him to miss shots like that, but there it is. It does happen. And G2 do pick up round number 3. Now another eco here for FaZe. Because if you're walking into the B side, it's definitely a contact play here. I think someone is waiting in checkers. That's going to be RBK. Can he actually take down AZ? Yes, he can. This will be the 5-4.
Good shot, Jacob. RPK falls. Rain's able to upgrade Rain onto a Deagle as a result of this kill. However, call it a man to the good in terms of the attack because they split the defense up even though it's 4-4. It's still the weaponry on G2's side. Shox through vents, picks up Kiyoshima. Down to just Jacob and Alu remaining. Push through from Shox as well in the back of that flash. So a good team actually, considering that we talked about this sort of the sluggish start to Pro League from G2, and I think it was Yanko, if I recall correctly, just saying that the timings have been kind of off. And I'm seeing some pretty good team chemistry in terms of flashing and peeking so far from G2.
You have to remember the first night of Pro League we had. It was like the first night back from holidays, right? It was the first day, because now these guys have probably got about 5 or 6 hours each day since then and getting back into the swing of things and finding their aims once more. So Shox, he was an underperformer the other day and he seems to be lights out at the moment. So maybe he is back and ready to go. It's 4-2 in favor of G2 right now. We have got another buy from FaZe, but no Alu Orb. As I said before, they actually perform a lot better when he has that weapon. He's good at getting opening picks. This time, though, another nice shot from Shox there towards the boost areas. FaZe getting taken down by himself. Jacob should have been there to get the refrag, but decides better over and falls back. It actually gives an opportunity for Shox to reposition, but staying where he was for now. But Scream chiming in from highway as well. Gets another headshot, and it's all going pretty swimmingly for G2 until Alu steps in.
Rain, oh, that time gets caught off body. Good reaction. It's incredible that I've seen that 3 times now in this game, that they've been able to walk that deep inside of the B site without being detected. And it has to do with just this passive stance that G2's taking and trying to force commitment to the site. First time we saw that used successfully was when Ty Lu showed up at Malmo and on Cobblestone, if you remember, and in fact Inferno. They let a lot of teams walk into the site and then there was no escape plan. This time, Smith's shot from quad, not successful down toward middle. It's Alu that's gonna walk back up. AK-47 in hands. Double flash out. They've got the coverage on toward that position at the quad, so it's all to RPK to get isolated. He does. Alu's going to push through. Smiths can't find the shot of the second attempt. Down to 8 HP, and he now with the FaZe AWP. We saw Kerrigan thwarting, or rather wielding, I should say, the other day. He's going to fall with Alu getting the kill.
Here we go, 2-on-2, and actually I've got the HP advantage. FaZe is going to be Scream. Slowly but surely edging his way towards Squeaky Door. I think the door will be closed for now, so he's going to have a bit of a tough time getting out there, making something happen, but we'll see whether he can step up. A body will be joining him. He's waiting for Scream to make the next move.
Well, Screamy didn't make much of a move, but Body, even though he's got 19, still fancies his chances in this, has a kit, knows the situation for FaZe, not a lot of money. If he could even get another gun down, it would force a significant amount of economy just to be spent barely being able to buy in this round. So it ends with 2 alive on the FaZe side. They'll bring it back to within 1. UMP immediately, though, for Jacob, and they do manage just barely to get an AWP out on Alu by dropping it over to him.
Yeah, that's actually a very nice recovery from FaZe. They lost the first 2 frags towards middle with Shox and Scream working together, that tag team combo we talk about so much. They get the first 2 kills, and somehow FaZe got back into it. It's actually Alu with the AK-47. And it's going to be round number 8 coming in now. We have got that first kill once again. Scream doing work towards mid. Has got the option to fall back here as well as he's in the connector area. Shox, he just flashed in towards A main. He finds a kill. Very aggressive and dynamic stuff coming in from the CTs at the moment.
Yeah, Shox is looking very confident so far in this game, and that can be scary. Scream holding passive angle at middle. He's going to get smoked off by Jacob.
At the moment, there's no real reason for the CTs to be forcing these situations. They are facing quite a lot. They do look confident, as you said, but it's going to be Shox going down to the UMP of Jacob there. So now it's a 4-on-2. It's going to be Alu coming out the squeaky door. But I think it's a difficult angle for the terrorists to really get anything out of, especially when the CTs aren't facing. Smith's just waiting towards quad and seeing if anyone will face from that angle.
Jacob is going to slowly walk in and probe out this A-main position, but a late smoke as well from the CTs. It's a minute to work with. Time, they've got it, but don't have the manpower, and that's the problem. Is Smith's, gun barrel shown. That might be a gift. Alu walks back out. He's already got it lined up. It's Smith's to hit the shot. Second player at forklift right now. Scream, well, he can cover it off, and Smith doesn't need the help. I can do it myself.
Yeah, you can see G2 much better today than they were a couple of nights ago. They're actually looking like they want to actively hunt for frags here, going flashing towards A main. Shockly just seems to be hitting absolutely everything as well. And Smith's nice, confident, disciplined play from him towards the end of that round as well. Just spotting Alu sneaking out the door there. FaZe's options were pretty limited, I have to say. But we go into round number 9. This will be pretty much fully eco for the international lineup here. They've got an MP9 up against them in the hands of Shox. They've only got Glocks and a couple of flashbangs. That's what they decide to do. I'd assume this is just a single smoke approach, but there it is. Shox just walking into A main, doesn't check his angles, and it's going to be Rain taking him down there.
Easy. Smoke already out, covers off quad. I know you like to throw that smoke, Henry, when you match make on this map. It's one of the only maps you've got strategies for. Smiths, he does actually catch Kiyoshima running back through the smoke toward that doorway, so they get the bomb down in this, but Smiths heavily thwarting their possibilities of holding with pistols right now. Alu, the only one with an upgraded gun. It's going to be the P250 in his hands.
Well, they have managed to get the bomb down here. Considering the buy, that's actually a pretty successful round for them. It surely will be a G2 round in the end when they come over the retake here, but it definitely has potential as Alu is doing some damage here from Highway, but Scream finding all the kills so far. Alu with that MP9 trying to get something out of this. If he'd got that kill with the MP9, it would have been an extra $600 as well, so that would have been beneficial, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty successful round for FaZe. Just a smoke and a flashbang is all they required. They got a kill, they got the bomb down, so that's not a bad day in terms of the round itself. It's going to be 6-3 now, and they do have money. Does Alu get the AWP? I'm sure he had enough for it. I kind of missed what the money was, but it's going to be 5 AKs here. We haven't seen any set executions yet from FaZe. They've been very good at getting the defaults, and they have occasionally getting the first pick as well. Not for the last couple of rounds, but I'd like to see them do a default, get that mid-control, maybe go into a more of a set piece and see if they can get the bomb down in that manner, but round number 10 comes in, Rain holding towards B storage and Scream. They just seem to be relentless with their pushes at the moment, and why not if they're hitting shots like that?
Yeah, I mean, so many times on this A site, it's not even an answer from FaZe so far in that regard.
It's like the defense team has gone to the offense at the moment. That can be really stifling for these new teams, especially. You can knock their confidence very quickly at the start of these rounds if you can just find that first frag.
Yeah, just to clarify, obviously not new team, but new roster. They've got some adjustment period, and they're
That's right, exactly what I mean. They're not going to have. It takes quite a long time to slip even one player into a lineup, right? Especially someone like Alu who needs his own role, right? He wants to play the way he wants to play.
Yeah, deadly accurate, and it's going to be Shox in behind forklift, but A side, they haven't really ever needed to push B. Now again, they did have that man advantage, but Smiths goes down, so FaZe have done well to pull this back early on. Still 57 seconds to work with. The saving grace in all this for G2 is that RPK has saved both a Molotov and a smoke. However, he's not on the A site. He's over toward B, and the activity is on A. No flash in Shox. That's a little bit overextending at this point in time when they don't have information on either side of the map. And Scream, though, does make up for it. Gets only one kill, though, as Alu walks in. AK-47 gets the kill. AZ, just to clear off all possibilities, jumping up, seeing over red, but it's RPK. He's arrived. No bomb plant yet either, and he could actually wrap around on this. He's got back to default to cut this off. Drops bomb, drops it again as Rain goes down, and RPK rotates in with aggression, and they don't go for the plants.
That's so reckless from RPK, but it looks so beautiful at the same time. It seems like he knew exactly what was going on there. He runs to the right-hand side of the Molotov, and you can see FaZe just weren't expecting this at all. They dropped that themselves, and they're just like, what's the idea behind that? But it just works out for him so nicely there. And FaZe, once again, with the man advantage, can't capitalize on defining closing sectors of that round, but it's going to be another eco coming in as well. Deagles in hand, and a P250 as well. No grenades, and without any sort of grenades, it's very difficult to actually have any access to the bomb sites here, and you can see Rain, he's feeling the brunt of it at the start. It's going to be body taken down for headshot. He's facing from checkers, and in terms of actually getting the bomb down this time, it's going to be very unlikely indeed. It's unless someone can actually find some magic with the Desert Eagle here. Maybe AZ can, you never know.
I'm going to try to do so. He's got the Deagle in hand. Scream firing shots out toward middle. A1S in hand. Does find the shot onto Alu. Flash over top. That's going to call down Shox to support because he's gone low on HP, his Scream. Talking about how deadly that duo is. And Shox, nice shot again. Doubles it up, finds AZ.
I'm liking this from Shox. I'm liking this a lot.
Are you? You played against Shox a lot, Henry.
I did.
He's a scary player?
I'd never beat him once. I was in
Really?
lots of grand finals against him, maybe about 5 or 6, and never, ever beat him. He was too good. He was like the final boss of
You don't admit that often, so.
I can admit when I'm beaten by a better man. That's absolutely fine.
Well,
usually
in every room they're in, you're not the best man, so.
Well, in this room, I haven't got much competition, you know, so I'm all right.
Yeah. It's my dad's favorite joke. Another 2 inches and I would have been the best man at the wedding. It's his absolute favorite.
I like that.
Yeah, well, boost going on in the A corner, not a run boost because they wanted the flash Shox in again once more first. Once he cleared off that angle, they do go forward, and they're going to leave Smiths, oddly enough, on that corner position down below with the AWP to watch A main. So there's his vision, his vantage point. Default for FaZe, spread out across the map. That could actually still come to fruition on that side.
Oh, I have got the AWP in the hands of Alu now. Let's see what he's up to. Actually, he's edging towards the B bomb side, it seems. The bomb is going to be down towards middle. It looks like their objective right now is just try and clear out some map control and get towards checkers. And he's going to be obtained, but taking a lot of damage in the process. Rain is going to go down to 19 HP. Alu, but the AWP just trying to get something rolling here in the B side, but GT being very disciplined. No aggression this time, they're holding back. Shox has been boosted on the A side, but still pretty quiet here. Number 12. Okay, Smiths. You have got an AWP.
He does. And he's way out in enemy territory. Doesn't land the shot. Does actually land. It's my mistake. He did take Kiyoshima, so he's going to fall back on this screen. Can cover off middle. Rain again, though, is going to try and take advantage of this checker room and get in deep in the site. They've caught off body here once. Second time he was ready for it, turned back and found the kill. But RPK's here with the flash to pop him out. He doesn't even need it yet just yet. Body's gonna go. They try the exact same strategy. The late lurk in toward B, and it doesn't work. G2's actually adapting really well to that.
Yeah, absolutely. They seem to be all over the place. FaZe just don't know how to handle these aggressive pushes. They're not watching every single angle there. Smith is just pushing squeaky door, and we've seen that time and time again. It's not like it's a new addition to the strategy of the CT side. They're actually getting aggressive most rounds, and FaZe seem like they've got tunnel vision towards middle almost, not actually watching some key pushes coming in from G2 there. Smith gets that first pick, things start to fall apart, and it's 9-3 now. It's starting to escalate as we go into another partial buy here from FaZe. Just Tech 9s and some armor here. They've got a couple of flashbangs, looks like a straight up B push. Body though, he's in a great position to actually lock this down. Or is he?
Don't jinx him, Henry. Flash out. This is actually impressive because RPK, he goes in for one, but Alu's right there immediately after. Tech 9s, they swarm back onto the vent. Shox, he's depleting a lot of ammunition before he's even really got target locked. Too close for missiles, switching to guns.
So we've been running a lot of defaults. We tried all the smokes out. Shall we just try walking to be with Tech 9s?
Sure.
Apparently you should, because you just walk through the smoke and this GT weren't expecting that at all. It's a bit of bad timing on their behalf and the round falls apart. That's the danger of the Tech 9s in CSGO. As soon as that one kill comes in, they can start running and gunning, and it's very deadly if you have 5 of them coming towards you as well. So that's going to be FaZe finding their 4th round against all odds, and we go into number 14 here, and they do have money, of course, going into this round. It's going to be the last 2 rounds, I'd say, against G2. They probably want to pick him at least one of these. Alu back on the AWP as well. We've got Smiths doing the same thing. I'll be interested to see whether we have any more aggression coming in from G2 this round. So they're going to go nice and close range towards middle. Do like to push this area as well through the smoke. But you can see Kiyoshima is going to be waiting for that attack. RPK looks like he might want to get flashed in towards A main. Uh-oh.
Yeah, reverse boost.
Uh-oh.
I almost feel like what he's saying, we just need like the dun-dun,
It's coming.
dun-dun,
There's Shox as well.
dun-dun, the like Sharks, the Jaws music. Interesting thing posted on the Reddit not too long ago, that the window, you can actually see through it from inside of A main. There's a player residing in that position right now, but he is a terrorist looking toward the A site. So, seeing him not likely. Shox, here it is, waiting to go up. And on the other side, who's going to peek first? Can you guess who? It's a mystery. Does your guy throw a smoke grenade? AZ certainly does. Shox pops over, and yep, he's guessed right exactly who's there. One down, falls back, and
this guy,
a second. This is so smart from Shox.
He's ready for it. Obviously, he has got no smoke to cover him now after the boost coming in. He knows the terrorist is going to try and get that refrag in. He's just too fast at the moment. Still a 3-on-3, a chance for FaZe to get back into this one. They have 45 seconds. They go quickly towards the A site, and Smiths can't land the shot. Jacob gets him from the door, and now the retake begins once again.
Shox rotating in. Bomb's going to be planted. But can this position catch them off in the post plant? They don't know that he's gotten here this quickly. Another kill for him, 3rd in the round, but doesn't see Kiyoshima wrapping around. And it's all onto body. Oh, forget that. It's not on
Well,
body.
finally, FaZe have been struggling in a lot of these post-plant situations. Finally, they do take advantage of that. The retake didn't work out for G2 there. We go into round number 15, and it's going to be, I think they've got a decent buy coming in. 4M4, so 4 haven't got Smith's AWP has been dropped for him. We'll find out momentarily. Is he just on a 5-7? That's it. Okay, so the AWP is going to be missing in round number 15. This could be a great time for Ali to strike. He's got that mid spawn, means he can sometimes get there before the smoke. Not in this instance. You have to have a really good spawn. The CT has to have a bad one. You can go for that first initial shot. Body, he just doesn't seem to care. He's pushing into B with the M4 himself and actually gets the headshot towards Rain.
Issue is the HP. Body and RPK 22 and 8, and they play B site together, so they're going to have to call for an early rotation over to support them. However, winning the duel could chance the possibility that no one is going to go onto that site. So rather than rotating Scream in and trying to swap potentially RPK out to passively hold mid, they're just going to leave them there. They've got confidence in their duo, ship, camaraderie. How does that? Well, that's lovely. As they go for the boost. So that was the response to having the low HP. Boost the player, the skylight boost, and Kiyashima spots them doing it. It's one bullet was all he needed to react. He got tagged down to 22, but the M4 can't finish off, and that's just going to pull it back. So now, again, they have to consider this possibility, but with the smokes out on A, and mid already cleared out, they're going to stay here, and Jacob just walks through. He's gifted the first, granted. Smith did show himself. The second one, he just finds Scream waiting, and Alu, he'll finally hit the shot on Shocks. It's RPK, 1 versus 4.
Yeah, not really much he can do with this one. Unfortunately for him, he's only got 8 HP and no kit. Bomb will be planted. Jacobs just holding the anchor on the A side, and Kiyashima coming for the backstab as well. This is pretty much bad news all round for RPK. We don't find the first kill there, but there it is. The backstab works out for Kyo. It's going to be 9-6 in the first half. Pretty decent stuff from G2 to kick things off, and then it was actually a nice comeback from FaZe, I have to say. This is still on a knife edge, could go either way. 9-6 is a pretty decent result for both teams,
Yeah,
I'd say.
you know what, it is, but at the same time, FaZe is normally, we would attest them to getting a few more terrorist rounds on this map.
Sure.
They are one of the ones that can commonly get 8 to 9 on this map. So we'll see. I think G2's been playing very aggressive, and that's the similar style that G2's always played on this. I often compare Cash, although it's more execution-oriented in the fact that it's very defined angles to Dust 2. And Dust 2, they're also very aggressive. So their CT side was not surprising in that sense.
Well, we'll find out if G2 can keep their confidence. We're going to take a quick break before we get into the second half, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome back. Halftime number 2 on the way. 9-6 favoring that of G2. Coming off the CT side, they'll go on the attack. To be fair, they were on the attack a lot of their defensive side with how aggressive they played.
That's my favorite setup though in the CT side. If you can actually take the game towards the terrorists and actually find those kills successfully as well, then why not keep doing it?
You know what? I remember you guys
pressure.
tried that at the show match, and Bardov sprayed 3 of you down. So
He was too sick for us, to be honest. Like, if you're playing against that kind of caliber, well, what can he do?
not much. Maybe just let him miss his whole clip first and then shoot him. AZ going to come back over and support mid because right now there is a lot of G2 players down toward that position, and they might even go for the Napoleon divide and conquer. They are the Frenchmen after all because they are going to push back Alu. He's limited at tree, taken down by Smiths. Did manage the shot onto body first, but it's just Rain that remains.
Very fast play here, going for that connector area as well. You can see the CTs where was going on. They couldn't stop the complete momentum that G2 had picked up coming through that mid area. Very fast and aggressive stuff from them, and they will take the second pistol here. So I'm sure we'll see them actually coming in with the AKs and / UMP buys, and looks like a force from FaZe as well. Alu, of course, who will not be purchasing anything but a CZ, no armor for him. There's no grenades available. Oh, no, there is a couple of flashbangs, and we have got 2 Mac-10 for G2, a UMP, and a couple of AKs as well. Plenty of utility to work with, and I'll be surprised if they throw this round in a similar fashion that we saw from the first half.
Shox AK looking for the taps onto Jacob. Hopes he can bait out Rain while one faces and the other does not. And Smiths with the Mac-10 is going to watch toward the doorway. You're taking a breath as if you're ready to expel your air in towards.
I was about to say something.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, well, basically what I was going to talk about was the formation and setup the terrorists that adopted this round. You can see they haven't left anyone towards B right now. It's a bit dangerous, a bit risky, but they're getting away with it, you know? It's fine for now. Looks like they have to commit towards A at this point. Molotovs all over the place. It's actually a bit of a hellstorm for AZ here as he gets taken down by the Mac-10, and this is going to be the A side completely taken over. And it's the perfect call as well. There was a bit of a stack from G2 towards the B side. There you go. That's my words for you.
I liked it. Thank you. Brought to you by Air.
Yep, the new sponsor.
The last thing you need is pure oxygen. Scream, waiting for flashes to finally stop hitting him in the face and blinding him up. As he does so, his teammates will go forward instead. Jacob waiting towards CT and Rain. Waiting at the spools. He's going to make it rain. He's got the... I really wanted to say that. Scream's got him back, though, so...
The most obvious pun in casting.
Well, I was kind of going like the NBA. Make it rain! Yeah. Either way, it's Jacob that's going to catch up at least one more. So they're doing some damage to these weapons, but SMG and RPK will pick up 1 kill. Kiyoshima and Alu remain alive, but only 1 now. That's the way it will end.
Well, pretty successful anti-eco. That's the way you do it, kids at home. Don't walk out squeaky door 1 by 1. You set yourself up with all the Molotovs and the smoke. You treat it like gun rounds. CSGO pistols are very powerful indeed. Needs to eradicate risks. That should be the headline. And FaZe did not do a very good job of that in the first half. Just walking out with no cover at all can lead to you actually dropping those rounds. Exactly what we saw. But G2, much more methodical approach and actually did a very good job there. So it's going to be Alu. Interesting enough. He's got... Why has Alu purchased head armor? Does he not want an AWP? Did he just do, you know what, guys? I don't want to AWP this half, so I'm just going to...
Why would he?
You guys don't bother. It would be this would be a solo project.
He's going to let Stonda up again. That
was an interesting idea from him. So now he has no AWP. He has an M4. He definitely could have got one. It literally makes no sense, but that is insane. Why would he get armor? No one else has. You bought CZ as well. Just threw away $1,500. You know what? I don't want to. Out the window.
Yeah, gone.
So
RPK is going to upgrade to a Molotov rather than the nade itself. Jacob, he'll use his on top of the boost. And that's well timed. Or is it? Smith's actually got through that. So the smoke came out, I think, extinguished most of it, but Kiyoshima, he walks up, flashed off, manages to recover his accuracy to find body. Not before he took down Rain, but nonetheless, before anything else could happen.
You can see the approach from G2 coming in there. They wanted to go for the fast mid play there. They know the CT economy is going to be limited after the force buy in the second. Won't necessarily have incendiaries. Go for the fast boost over. Have a chance of taking them down nice and quickly. But the crossfires worked out pretty effectively for FaZe. Now 4-on-2. But look at RPK's position. He's actually sneaked all the way to CT spawn, but he has been detected. Jacob on the rotation will find him. And it's just going to be Shox now left in the 4 versus 1. And the form he's in right now, Matt. I wouldn't be surprised if he made a bit of a dent in this round. I'm not going to speculate there's any chance of winning it, but let's see with the bomb in hand whether we can open things up and make things a possibility, and that's a hell of a shot to start things off. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yes. Shox. He's got another one isolated. Alu. Oh, that's good. Kyo, you're good, you.
You're a good one. I like you. Well, nice work. Could have, like I said, someone like Shox alive, anything really can happen in those situations. He's got the first shot there, but like you said, good positioning from Kyo. Locks it down towards checker room, and I already kind of dissected that round for you. Like I said, the terrorists trying to capitalize on the lack of CT utility that may have been there with that fast mid peak. They still have plenty of money here, and Smith's back on the AWP as well. Not a similar story for Alu as of yet. He's still on the M4, but we'll see what he can do, as it looks like all 4 players on the A side of the map will be heading in pretty aggressively here. I'm sure it's going to be Shox on the other side. He's actually only got the Tech 9, so why not just be holding the flanks, maybe backstabbing towards middle when they make their final play.
Easy. The armor was apparently saved, everyone's saying in chat. And I was talking about that.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Well, it's still the same reason, right? He would,
If he didn't buy the round previous.
I'm pretty sure I said he was keeping him modest. I remember saying that.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't know.
We
Maybe
can
I
look
was
back on
wrong.
it. Don't worry. We make mistakes sometimes.
But like, still, the point still stands. Why is he buying it in the second anyway? If he's going to be the AWPer, it's very important on Cash to have an AWP.
Fair. I'd say one of the most important maps to have an AWP. In fact, either way, smoke's coming in. Molotov onto the forklift, cleared out quad as well. Rain does not have a lot of room to work with at all in this situation. He's going to try and get close inside the smoke push through. Flash out. Smith's caught down, but god damn that pesky forklift. And Smith is able to stand straight up and take the AWP back into the fight as Rain. He used 30 bullets to effectively give a new paint job onto a piece of construction machinery that I don't even think moves, because it hasn't in about 2 years since this map was created, Henry.
Shox is actually coming out the highway map. I said he could be the danger man here as he comes to the back.
He's got to go quick, though.
Yeah, the bomb is not being diffused just yet, but that's the fault.
He was on it. Alu was on it the whole time with a kit.
It looked like G2 had set that round up perfectly for themselves. I thought Shox had to react a little bit quicker, though. He's coming and walking in after everyone's died. I think he could have positioned himself in a better place and stopped the cities crossing over to the site as well. He waited a little bit too long. It's actually a nice little approach from G2 to kick things off, but the retake was even better from FaZe. Another force buy from G2 after getting the bomb down. They have got enough to work with here. 3 rifles and 2 Tech 9s, limited on the utility. We'll see what Alu can do now. He finally has got the AWP himself. And it's going to be 3 players towards B storage for now. It's going to be a bit of a ruse. You can see the bomb is actually being set towards Squeaky Door for now. So just trying to show some presence towards B for now. Maybe actually just throw some grenades, take some vision away, and then they'll make their way back towards middle and kind of assist their comrades on the A side.
RPK is going to wait to open up the doorway. Bomb behind him. This should be a fast flurry toward the default. They have to get the trade, though. They don't. And AZ with 2 drops. Bomb bodies there. Watch the rotation, though, coming back as Rain takes down in middle. It's just 2 remaining. Scream and Body have to work in slowly. Bomb will get planted, but Scream commits to the peak, which means there's no real way back toward A main, and it's all on Body. 1 versus 3 now. Started as 4. Snap reactions, but too far to the right. And Jacob hits the shot. Another round going the way of FaZe. They're going to close this up to 12-9.
Yeah, FaZe has seemed very efficient on these retakes so far, actually. Coming together, working as a unit, not overextending when they haven't got the teammates there for them, waiting until they actually have the power and numbers and working together. So it's actually pretty successful so far and actually getting into this game as they win 3 rounds in a row now after losing the pistol. All the gun rounds seem to be going in their favor. And G2, I'm going to say, forcing into this again. They have got 4 AKs, but Scream just on the deagle there. You can see that they have got 4 smokes as well. So it's definitely not the worst buy, but it's certainly not the best. Shox about head armor as well. That's a problem against the M4s. So you go into round number 7 here. We'll see what kind of tactic they bring to the table this time. It's going to be another default coming in. RPK a little more passive towards B. Not going to be showing the same sort of presence we saw in the previous round. Shoxy getting ready as he comes out to the A side. Undetected for now.
Shox.
Oh,
Nice shot. Rain walks directly into it. So give him some movement. Caught inside the smoke, slight gap, so AZ knows that he's gone in behind the quad, shuffles over accordingly and finds the kill. Smiths, though, getting one back, but AZ is able to immediately adjust back on him, 13 HP, and he's still got that smoke to allow him inside the default. They'll be anticipating him to be toward quad. Meanwhile, mid, it's Kiyoshima. Okay, AZ does go down, but Kiyoshi, this is actually a problem. So Kiyo's gonna go up highway, Body hears him going, walks out, times it perfectly, and the T's have pulled this round back. The one problem still is that Alu has bomb in the open. He considers that Body could push through mid and try and catch him off. There's a minute to do so. But with the smoke out, they cross over and still haven't elected to grab it.
he's got the vision of the bomb here as well, so there's plenty of time to play with. You've got the flashbangs, so don't need to overcommit to this. That's actually a nice little play there, but it's going to be Alu fighting back. Drops the bomb and you can still see it once again, trying to hit this second shot. And it's up to Body to reposition himself and use his secondary flashbang as Alu rotates back towards connector. Bomb will be planted though. Safe plant. Oh, Body. Maybe overthinking this situation slightly as he does reposition.
Alu's gonna just wait this out. Because Body's not yet planted, there's no need to force the issue too soon. Body, actually.
He's assuming he's gone towards A main.
Yeah, has lost track of him entirely. And that's going to favor Alu, who walks out. Easy shot! Oh my god, Alu!
Maybe not so easy.
And maybe not got Alu, maybe bought Alu. Let me correct that. Either way.
Still, he did the hard work with the positioning. He readjusted himself from spawn and did a pretty good job. I have to remember that it's a 2-on-1 as well, and locks it down. That G2 had exactly the right mentality there. The decent flashbang comes in as Alu comes in, but Alu just refaces at the right time, takes him down, and it will be FaZe finding round number 10 here, closing the gap, 12-10, and this surely isn't another force. No, it's going to be G2. It's going to be a partial buy from them, Desert Eagles, and some body armor as well. Scream faces towards B storage with the Deagle, gets taken down. And the rest of his teammates say, fancy a bit of the action FaZe brought to the table in the previous half.
Oh, That's lovely stuff. Walking in, Shocks and Smith getting headshots.
Okay.
Shocks again getting Jacob, but the numbers were gone. Taken down on the way through in the end, and it's going to be 2 players remaining for FaZe, and it's 1 round the difference. G2, this lead, it's evaporating as they go to 12-11.
Indeed. FaZe have really come to life here on the second half, looking very strong on the CT side. This is promising for FaZe going forward. This is a very fresh lineup in terms of Alu coming into it. And we spoke about Alu recently a lot, and it seems like he missed the limelight. He needed to be the superstar again. I feel like this is the perfect team for him in terms of getting his variety back.
And there's not as much pressure as say something like NIP, where you are very much the outsider.
Sure.
And the community often looked at the 5th player as the problem on NIP when it's really not. There's lots of internal issues, but it was the one thing that changed, right? So
Sure.
It's the one thing that gets the blame.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well then, we do go into another default here. Looks like G2 will be focusing towards the A side of the map though. Just Shoxy holding towards middle. Smith's RPK body waiting in A storage while Scream potentially going to try and open things up here from Squeaky Door.
Rain's still looking for the opportunity. Molotov landing toward the lockers. Flash out to allow AZ crossing. He's going to go toward back of the site instead. Pop flash off the vents. Pretty standard, but the timing is off as he gets blinded in return, and Body's able to walk around, evading the flash thrown toward him and getting 2 kills as he finds Rain as well. Jacob's got 1 in return. Spots Smiths. He can play off the edge of this smoke and in turn hide himself now that he's been blinded up. A bomb inevitably going to be planted in all of this as it stays to the 3-on-3. Smiths smoke out, AWP in hand, trying to find an opening. Launch toward the truck, and he does. Alu in the open gets caught. Second one nearly there, but Kiyoshima's pulled back Body. He needs to hit at least one of these 2 shots. He does. Kiyoshima goes down, and Jacob 1 versus 2, gonna get toward the barrels. Again missed by Smiths, but this is just giving Scream the comfort. He can just sit and wait this out as time continues to dissolve. Jacob, quick shot as he jumps up on top right, but Screamy not gonna peek this just yet. Does get it, Jacob. And he's got the kid, he's got the time.
What was that little spin about?
I think he was looking for an AWP, perhaps.
Yeah, that's how it's to say. Worry about the bomb first, mate, and then we can worry about that after. Yeah, nice retake once again from FaZe. There's a 2 versus 1, and Jacob comes out trumps there. Interesting round. Smiths can't land the final shot there, and Scream, like he said, he thought he had a comfortable position, but Jacob jumping around the corner finds the final headshot and takes it down. 12-12 ties things up as well. There's the replay on the screen right now. We go into round number 10. And the loss bonus is actually a maximum now for G2. Just can't seem to get rolling here on the gun rounds. They won 3 in a row from the pistol, and Body, you've left the bomb and T-spawn. Go back and get it. Bit of a whiff smoke there, and that's going to cost him the first kill as well.
Huge whiff. Massive gap to play with. AZ's going to pull this back, but still it's a 4-on-4, and this is starting to favor off the terrorists. Flash through, AZ has to go passive as a result. Smith is going to make a ton of noise though, and Alu catches him off, so it gets over-aggressive, I would say, trying to find AZ. And Jacob able to get Body, brings this back. It's straightforward, isn't it?
It's G2, I guess they're trying to capitalize on that early pick they got. They said, okay, we've got players towards this side of the map. We've got that first pick. Let's just force our way in. But FaZe, they seem really hot on the CT side. They're coming back in. The crossfires are really impressive. Ali seems to be hitting most of his shots as well. And then you drop that initial frag. G2 can't find anything else from it. And they're force buying continuously now. They do get that maximum loss bonus, of course, which is $3,400, but they're not getting the bomb down. So it means they have 4 AK, sure, but there's 1 Galil there as well. They've got no Molotovs. 2 players don't have any grenades whatsoever. They'll be relying on brute force this round, trying to headshot as much as they possibly can, but that's been a problem. They're actually not getting that much access to the bomb sites. They're getting shut down before they even come out. And with the lack of grenades as well, that's only going to get worse for them. So, Alu, we talked about GT's aggression. He's trying to bring something to the table as well. He will be pushing towards B storage, not spotting anything so far. And there's actually no players really towards this side of the map, apart from RPKs holding in the connector area. He won't be giving anything away for now, but he could hold rotating here.
Boost above the smoke. That's clever. It actually does catch him off. So if they get there in time, Shox is exposed. This is going to force them outside middle aggressively, though, because they don't have smokes to cover off the wall to vents. And it also transfers the information to Alu, who picks up 2 up close. Kiyoshima finding RPK will add another to the total of FaZe. It's just 2 remaining on G2's side. Screaming Shocks, though, that's the dynamic duo, but they only managed 1.
I'm surprised Alu even got 2 kills out of that. He was in a horrible position for that setup coming in. They lost middle towards that smoke boost we saw, and they come through the vents, and G2 just pour onto the B bomb site, and Alu just stays calm in the situation. He gets 1. I thought that was enough. The fact he gets 2 is fantastic from him. Great awareness, and Kiyoshima doing some work from upper as well. That's actually a really nice round for FaZe to pick up, and they do take a significant lead now, 14-12, and another force buy from G2. They obviously don't want to be playing for the draw here. They want to go for the win. And it's going to be a Glow, a Tech-9, 3 AKs, but limited in utility once more. Seems like Shoxy had that godlike first half. The team can't get rolling as a unit right now on the T side. Struggling to actually get to the bomb side. So they're okay at the initial opening frags. It's just actually finishing the rounds off, it seems. Lots of decent retakes from FaZe.
Alu.
This
is very aggressive with an AWP right now. And oddly enough, normally when you see an AWP go to that position, you expect someone to be right behind him with a flash to bail him out. No one there. He went solo on that push with the AWP, so. Alu looking more aggressive than what we know him for. Usually he's more of the passive. Yeah, exactly. It's what FaZe needed, I think. And flashes through. This allows them to have more players in middle and look at the aggression as a result. That is such a huge lineup. He gets 1 plus massive damage. AZ's able to convert that. There's still a third one there that's low. And Jacob goes back out to find more. 2 more, in fact. So 3 plus 1 for him in the round. RPK, the last alive, will get Alu inside of that B site, but 19 HP. And, well, map point looming. Beaconing for FaZe. Beckoning. Thank you.
There's going to be RPK left, and match point has been obtained by FaZe. Lovely work.
4 kills for Jacob, plus the assist as well.
That was a sick lineup you pointed out. That was actually that's the kind of stuff you pray for in CS. Having players like that all looking at you, and you just got a complete lineup. You don't even have to aim with them. And it's going to be FaZe looking like they can close things out right here, right now. Like I said, this loss bonus forced by mentality from G2 hasn't been fantastic. It's actually cost them a lot of these rounds. They keep doing it time and time again, and there's not having the orbs, not having the grenades. And this round will be no different. It's actually going to be 3 AKs, 2 Tech-9s once more. 1 more round for FaZe will do it. As we go into number 13.5. I'm actually starting to become a bit of a FaZe fanboy. I'm actually liking this team.
You know what? It is interesting. It is an online phase. It is a honeymoon stage.
Sure.
But they're showing
they seem revitalized and a good CS approach. It's not as chaotic as it was before. It seems like they actually have objectives, and their CT sides are a little bit more aggressive this time, and they actually seem more confident in themselves.
Well, that's it. Confident in themselves. It's funny how your personality can translate through and your mood can translate through. Instead of playing passive and constantly getting caught out in situations where you almost look scared and timid because you don't have the confidence that you've been winning games. These guys look like they'll take any fight right now, and it is refreshing. To be fair, I've not really been a fanboy of this team before, but
yeah, I can't say I have. I've always liked the idea of it. It's quite a romantic approach, saying like we're going to have 5 players from different countries. It's not about where you're from. It's about the players themselves and how well they operate as a unit. But it hasn't really been the case so far. But as we finish things off here on the first map, it's going to be the man advantage for G2, so we could have a few more twists and turns as we get to the 42nd mark. They have got mid control as well. RPK holding towards B storage. Looks like we have got a bit of aggression from the CTs towards A main. Actually going to have some information here as Rain and AZ are in that area, but it looks like potential B split coming in from the French side.
Chox is boosted up on top of the white box. Shoulder peek with knife for movement mechanics.
Yeah. So the idea is because they got a free access a middle, they're assuming the AWP will be towards quad, but not to be the case, and maybe they'll just be doing a little fake towards A, but Alu, back could be ready for them.
Guess where the op is? Right where Alu has been found inside of B. They elect to go that direction. 2 kills for him. RPK will silence him, but it's pulled this back to a 3 versus 3, and AZ. Oh, this timing from AZ. He's going to get the kill onto Shox. That'll limit the post-plant positions, allow the retake to be more strengthened, or more promising, I should say, as RPK, because he's limited inside event room. Already found out. Body has to do this alone. 2 kills. He's got back in. No way he gets that 3rd shot. 8 HP, and he's giving himself a chance. But AZ is going to close it out. That will be the game. If Body had pulled that off, of all things.
That would have been a nuts way to keep them alive. But there it is. It's going to be AZ to finish things off. A nice game from FaZe, you have to say, after a ropey start and actually struggling with the pistols as well, and just a force buy mentality at the start. It was actually pretty cool to see them come back and take down a big name like G2.
Yeah, I mean, again, G2 a little bit slow to start off this season of Pro League after how much strength we saw in them from sort of the April to middle of April to end of May time frame. So
yeah,
interesting stuff to be noted, no doubt about that. And I have to say, hats off to FaZe, who are now, I think, 5-1, 6-1?
5-1. I think they dropped 1 map to Envy. That was it.
That's very impressive, I have to say, and it's very promising. Alu must be absolutely just grinning ear to ear at the results that they've achieved already.
It's kind of nuts to think he was in that ends team, and we felt like there was probably another year's work to do before they even broke into the top 10 teams, and now he's kind of bouncing back and seeming more confident than ever. So it's good to see him performing.
Absolutely. Well, that said, we will send it back over to the desk. It's the same lovely duo that we've had. We got caster duos, we got desk duos, and it's Alex and Yanko.
Yes, indeed. I'm hanging out with my pal, my favorite Serbian, Janko, to talk a little bit about.
How many
this
Serbians do you know, Alex?
You can't keep doing this to me. I might know another one. I'm watching Serbian basketball right now, and they're getting trashed by USA. So I know however many people are on the court. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Serbians.
Moving swiftly on.
Yep, there you go. That's about as much as I know about basketball. Nothing but net, 3-pointers, layup. Those are the basketball terms I know.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Now into the CS, which I do know just a fraction more about. We do need to address, of course, the Alu factor. They brought it up, and I do want to continue to kind of run with it. It's so refreshing to see someone who was not trapped in ENTs, but it did look like we weren't going to be seeing Alu at the higher echelons of CS for a while in that project. And now he's here, and now he's just taken, I mean, a victory versus G2 on a map that they're very good at.
Yeah, I think it was maybe something similar to Nico in a sense that there's always that desire to play with your own countrymen, you know, and have some success internationally with them. I know that Nico would always like to, at least at some point, maybe towards the end of his career, a long time away, try and make a team again with, you know, people from the Balkans at least. But he gave it a try with ENTs. It didn't work out as he would have hoped for, and at this point, you know, got an offer from FaZe, a better team, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's good to see him back in the top level of play again.
No, from FaZe in that game, I think it's kind of, Henry G made a very good point, just suggesting that it didn't look like they were playing perfect CS there. They were falling into some force buy traps. They were losing to very silly rounds, and still managed to prevail. Like is that something to kind of sing their praises about, or is that still a criticism to be hailed?
I mean, not to talk about this again, but it's obvious that it's going to be messy, it's going to be scrappy and everything. But listen, in the second half, G2 didn't win a single gun round. They won the pistol round, they were up 3-0 and couldn't win one round after that. So it's a combination of FaZe playing really well on the CT side, but there were also a lot of, you know, clutch rounds, 1v1s, 2v1s, and all of them went FaZe's way. So that's maybe something they got back for the yesterday's game against Envious on Cash as well, where everything went their opponent's way.
Yeah, it did go tits up for them yesterday, no doubt about it. Now, though, they're in a very good position. Will we be seeing more from these fellows as they could potentially go ahead and just climb even further up this leaderboard? It's absolutely insane how far they've gone already, 6-1 now, and they could very end on 7 by the end of the night. Now, where are they going to be doing battle next? It was Cash, and now we head to Overpass, a map which I'm pretty sure they're going to be a little less familiar with. I mean, Cash was much more of a FaZe playground, and we'll be seeing how they do perform after our break. Myself and Janko will return to discuss the final map of tonight in just a moment's time. Before we do go, though, do be sure to check out the Score Esports application. You know the drill by now. It's available on your smartphone device, and it's got news, articles, stats, the whole shebang in one place, Google Play and iOS. You grab that, and when we come back, we'll be talking about Overpass and seeing if FaZe can find their 7th win here in the Pro League in just the first week.